BLACKHEART Cleveland. Shot.
Right on. We're here with Rafiq to talk about Cleveland tapes and leRoi da Moor's album Pastiche. You want to tell us a little bit about Cleveland tapes first?
Yeah, so I mean, basically what we were trying to do is like have an analog presence and in like a digital age, you know, and like take back some of that, the warm sounding, epic, weird aspects of hip hop and electronic music and experimentation, and just, you know, modernize it, put some fresh kicks on it, you know, put some jeans on it. So, you know, we got LaToya Kent, who is from Cleveland, went to LA, did her thing on the post-punk scene, came back, and we made a record with her called Sweet Oil, which was recently mastered by E-React from Fair Trade. So that collaboration is still going on, Fair Trade and Cleveland Tapes, and it's due out in the 1st of September. It's called Sweet Oil. It's a real departure from what she's used to doing. You know, it's ballads on there, it's love songs on there, but we put the drums to it in the thump, and you know, that's what it is. You know, and we wanted to make records that were short. We didn't want to make 2-hour records, hour records. We wanted to just hit you with it, you know, 30, 40 minutes and get the fuck out, so you want to play it again. So we got Lo-Fi, who is an extraordinary beat maker from here. He's on our beat maker series. He's got Electric General coming out in October. Me and him did a collaboration for the Versus series, and what the Versus series is like we take a producer from a whole other camp that doesn't work with an MC and put them with an MC from another camp and kind of just let them mash out together, and we call it the Versus series. So,
tell me a little bit about leRoi da Moor and Pastiche.
Well, shit. I mean, I was in, you know, a bunch of cool bands and getting it in, but with Vernacular and Black Tiger and all that was fun. But I always really wanted to make some music myself, where I made it myself, by myself, my own ideas, you know. So leRoi da Moor was just a way to do that and not have everything be R.A. Washington, you know, some serious, like downer poems, you know. Just try and play with it and be a little more humorous, you know what I'm saying, with like a steez. And I just thought it was hilarious because it's like, you know, Spanish Moors, Inquisition, that kind of thing. So the first thing we did was called Black Fiction. No, well, actually, before we even did Black Fiction, we did this record called The New Surah Orchestra Between Blackness and Being, and it was like an instrumental record. Then I was like, oh,
that was like a year or two ago, right?
Yeah, that was about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, you know. And I was playing for my good friend Kate, and she was like, I like that, that's funky, I can listen to that all day. And I was like, you know, maybe we should try and put some vocals or something like that. So that was like Black Fiction, did that, and that came off nice. But I wanted Pastiche to be really focused and really be about the collage edict, and you know, to go near a sampling and really just like some lush movements in the middle of it, and make sure the poetry was tight, make sure what I was saying was like gonna be on point, you know, funny at points, you know, has some double entendres to it. So it kind of just developed off that, and I wanted to make, you know, it took 9 people to make Paul's Boutique, you know, Prince Paul, I mean not Prince Paul, but the Beastie Boys boy, you know, they made Paul's Boutique. Then you got 3 Feet High and Rising, and those are both, I consider them collage records, you know. Paul's Boutique gets the most critical shine for being a collage record. You know, fast forwarded to Madlib and those kind of cats making collage records. I just wanted to go back and kind of like holler at Paul's Boutique specifically, but make it
as the seminal collage record.
Yeah, it's a seminal one. It's the one everybody knows. And I was like, pastiche is a word that means collage, but you know, most people play it like hodgepodge, you know, willy-nilly throw everything together in the same pot type of thing. So I thought that was just a good place to start, man. You know, I was trying to, you know, at first I wasn't even thinking what we were gonna make. You get there zombie proof with a bunch of tapes, you know. Basically my process is I make beats, I tape them live, I make them live, and I tape them live on these tapes. I name them different shit, you know, name them shit. I bring the tapes in with Paul. We sit down, we listen through them, we play them, we pick beats, we start piecing it together, and slowly but surely we're like, oh, we need this color or this emotion. It's like a painting. I mean, pastiche was real easy to make. Once I did all my homework, I came in there with a month's worth of beats, 2 months worth of beats. You know, we wrote everything there fresh, and we did it in a day. You know, we spent from 11 o'clock in the morning till 3 o'clock at night, and we just thought about that. We didn't eat. We drank a lot of Paps. We smoked a gang of cigarettes, and made pastiche. You know.
Tell us what BLACKHEART Cleveland means to you.
Yeah, you know, BLACKHEART Cleveland means sticking up for what you actually believe in. Actually putting in a little work. Actually standing up front and being like, this is not working the way you're doing it. Can we have some kind of meeting, some kind of critical mass where everybody gets an opportunity to say their piece and come up with some solutions. Solution, gang. Solution. Okay? Quit passing the jobs to the same motherfuckers, man. Damn. Huh.
Spread the love.
Spread it a little bit. That's what BLACKHEART Cleveland means. You know? You the only cats hollering at us. And we've been funky for years. That shit is annoying.